Yes, it's me, Steve, again. Today I'm going back to Star Wars. I'm going to talk Rise of Skywalker. Why? Because otherwise you'll have to listen to me bitch about alimony for the next 10 minutes. And what would you prefer? I think I know the answer. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Is it possible to be any worse than The Last Jedi? Yeah! Let's jump in. Palpatine's voice from beyond the grave. How unoriginal can you get? I mean, is it really that hard to do something original, for God's sake? Apparently so. I know I'm already gonna hate this fucking movie. We start with Kylo Ren chopping up folks on Mustafar in search of a Wayfinder, which the backstory of this Wayfinder and Darth Vader would add a lot of plot, but as usual, the movie is just like, f it, and moves on. So Kylo Ren finds this Sith planet, and holy shit, it's Palpatine! Or a crummy clone of Palpatine. Double I'm not sure what to make out of this guy. He looks like the end result of a cake when you forget baking powder. Rather than have something that's nice and fluffy as a result, you get this meat sack that's flat and brittle. So Palpatine has a gift for Kylo Ren. Huh? Last time I had a crusty old man offer me a gift, it was in the back of the van. And you know what? I'm rather not going to talk about it. Oh, Kylo Ren's gift is 1,000 Zeiston-class Star Destroyers. Palpatine is just so sweet. Wait, what? This crunchy old fart has been sitting on 1,000 fucking ships that are fully crewed and ready for combat? I got some questions here. The Sith world Exegol looks pretty barren. And anyone notice that you didn't see any vegetation? And there was no heavy construction equipment. I mean, there wasn't any goddamn infrastructure anywhere. It looks like they try to insinuate that the ships were built underground, which might be fine, but then they punch through to the surface, which would cause a cave-in, thus rendering their construction facilities useless. I mean, oh my god, this math is not adding up here. Oh, but oh, Steve, you say. Stop focusing on the details. This is a fantasy sci-fi movie, and you need to learn to just let it go. Come the fuck on! The length of a Zeiston Star Destroyer is 2,406 meters, which is 7,894 feet. That is over 7 times the size of a modern American aircraft carrier. The complement of a Zeiston-class Star Destroyer is 29,585 crew members. And with 1,000 ships, there is an attack force of nearly 30 fucking million people just sitting on this planet. I mean, it's basically similar to the population of the entire state of Texas.
Yeehaw, chuckle f***s.
Also, the average American consumes nearly 2,000 pounds of food per year, which would mean you would need 60 billion pounds of food per year to keep the crew sustained. I mean, how the fuck are people alive on this planet? There would need to be an enormous supply chain needed just to sustain the crew of the ships, let alone the people that maintain the construction facilities that built the ships, or just live on the planet. Again, using a naval comparison, it takes roughly 2,500 people to construct one modern aircraft carrier. And since the Zeiston carrier is over 7 times bigger, you're looking at a crew of roughly 17,500 builders needed per ship. So in the 30 years following the fall of the Empire until now, taking into account a roughly 5 to 6 year time frame to build each ship, we're looking at nearly 200 ships under construction at any given time to meet the deadline for the final order. That means you would need an additional 3.5 million workers living on Exegol to construct this fleet. We haven't even talked about auxiliary ships that resupply the warships. Where the hell are they? And again, some of you will say, oh, Steve, you short-sighted duck. They have food synthesizers that take care of all the crew's needs, and I call bullshit! Food synthesizers were never mentioned in any of the fucking mainstream movies. You know, you have to account for some of this crap. Give me some explanation. Otherwise, it just makes the movie look stupid. Too late for that. Oh my god. Am I less than 10 minutes into this movie already? Fuck me. Next, we flash to the rebels, and they decide they need to go to Exegol to do something, but they need to find a Wayfinder to get there. A Wayfinder is like a GPS device that just gives you directions, kind of like a TomTom. The hell is a TomTom?
Go with the world's #1 selling automotive GPS, TomTom.
Yeah, this is stupid. And they spend nearly 60 minutes on finding a fucking TomTom.
TomTom, your portable, everyday GPS solution.
Their first stop is some sand planet where Luke once took shit. And who do they find camping out on the planet for the last 30 years? Lando Calrissian! Wait, why the hell is he here? Lando was the shit back in the day. He was the smooth operator. Lando was the opposite of Han Solo. Han was brash and impulsive. Lando was calm and calculated. Why the hell would the writers thought it would be a good idea to have him slumming on some dirt planet? General Calrissian would have grifted off of that title for the last 30 years and been living in a palace somewhere. But it's like the writers just hate Star Wars, and we're like, nah, we'll keep them here jerking off. Once again, go f yourselves. So this entire planet scene is just retarded. Luke was there looking for a dagger that could show him how to find the Tom-Tom.
Turn left.
This holiday season, give a TomTom.
And I guess he gave up because looking is hard. But f***ing no less than 5 minutes after their arrival, Rey and crew find the goddamn dagger just laying on the floor of a cave. No research, no backtracking, just here it is. Okay, I need help on the next part. Rey is now a kick-ass Jedi that can easily defeat Kylo Ren because she can, bigot. But what I don't understand is the whole Chewie being captured and the shuttle trying to fly away. I realize that Rey is using the Force to try and stop the ship, but what is Kylo Ren using? The Anti-Force? I mean, where the hell is he pulling the ship? Rey is trying to bring the ship down to her. So what is Kylo Ren doing? He's trying to push it up? Shouldn't he try to attack Rey so the ship could fly away? Instead, he's unforcing her forcing. And I think the writers were like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. How are we going to unf this? Let's just... new power! New power! And by the way, it was never explained, and the result was a dead Wookiee. But of course, with Kylo Ren and his knights bearing down on Rey and company, they all managed to get on a ship that hasn't flown in 30 years, somehow get it into orbit, and hide from the Final Order. I don't get it. They were in visual contact. I assume that the Star Wars people have f***ing radar, but somehow they escape. What? See, it's this kind of shit that pisses me off. You could have had an epic escape scene where Rey and crew, desperate to escape the Tertiary Order, are doing what they can to fly their little trash bin, but ultimately, because it's such a piece of shit, they are overwhelmed by the power of the Two-Thirds Order and have to surrender. Afterwards, with all hope looking lost, you then insert the traitor, quotation marks, that tells you that Chewie is alive and helps you escape, thereby allowing you to totally cut out the Kijimi scene, which brings no value to the movie. Actually, it's a great idea. Let's not even talk about Kijimi, because there's nothing there. The only thing that comes out of that scene is that Rey figures out Chewie's alive, and they gain access to Ren's ship with some stupid token. I mean, what the f***? You pick up a poker chip that gives you access to a secure location? At least in the Return of the Jedi, they needed to have a code.
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out.
And in that situation, Darth Vader knows that Luke is on the shuttle, and he still clears him for landing. Versus, oh, we'll just insert coin, and boom, no questions asked. You guys are such assholes. Well, Rey, Poe, and Finn enter a shuttle bay and proceed to take out at least 20 stormtroopers before Poe gets a flesh wound. I do like how they leaned on the whole stormtroopers not being able to hit. Wait, hold on a second. Wasn't Finn a stormtrooper? And he was a shitty one at that. But now all of a sudden, he's an ace and they're cutting him down like it's no one's business? This feels more like a video game than a movie. Whatever, they free Chewie and grab the dagger and figure out Hux is the spy. No surprise. And Rey is a Palpatine. Oh, more originality. And of course they escape. On to the next location of the Tom-Tom.
At the end of the road, turn round.
Where's the next location of the potential Tom-Tom, you say? Kefbir, where the Death Star crashed in Return of the Jedi. So out of the 1.5 million planets controlled by the Empire, we're going back to where the Death Star crashed 30 years ago? How can you be this lazy? There are literally millions of possibilities within the Star Wars universe. And the best decision was, oh, let's revisit yet another piece of history and not do something new and unique. And if that's not bad enough, oh, there's more garbage to come. Talented and gifted Super Mega Force Rey takes out on a stupid boat in conditions that local inhabitants say are too dangerous because Rey is super talented and gifted and has Mega Force. So a person that spent their entire life on a barren sand planet knows nothing about sailing, no instruction, no training, somehow manages to surf across, 100-foot waves? At this point, man, why the hell do we even need the rest of the cast anyways? Let's just have talented and super gifted Megaforce Rey wipe out the Final Order single-handed. There's no need for anyone else in the movie at this point. F them. Well, Rey has no problem finding the Tom-Tom.
Tom-Tom.
Stop it! But Kylo Ren shows up at the right moment, and of course Rey doesn't sense his presence when she just felt Chewie's presence from a ship in orbit. Continuity, people, please. So Kylo Ren crushes the Tom-Tom with his bare hands. What? No clip? Hold on. Kylo Ren crushes the Wayfinder with his bare hands. This Wayfinder survived an impact with a planet, and Kylo Ren just crushed it with his hands? Anyways, Mama interrupts Rey and Ren's fight while Kylo Ren is distracted. Rey stabs him in the gut, but then immediately saves him with her new Mega Force power. So touching. Rey then steals Kylo Ren's fighter, ditches him and her friends without a word. Man, such a great friend.
Friends like you, who needs friends?
But Rey now shows up at Luke's old stomping grounds, bitching and moaning about a vision. Luke appears and calms her down, saying she'll be okay, but she needs to finish her mission. So Rey finally finds Kylo Ren's Tom.
Your destination you have reached.
And Luke gives her a flight-worthy X-Wing fighter that's been sitting in the ocean for nearly 30 years. You know, I would love it if someone would dedicate a movie just to the manufacturing of these ships. Half of them are probably 40 to 50 years old, and they have no issues firing right up being idle most of their lives. I've got a 4-year-old Kia that's already had a bad alternator, water pump, and the power steering keeps going out, and I keep that in my garage! Maybe that's an idea. I'll put the Sedona in 10 feet of f***ing salt water and see if that helps. Here comes the third act. Rey is using the only Wayfinder to navigate her way to Exegol, and for some reason the Resistance just happens to notice Luke's X-Wing transponders start broadcasting. Again, still working, but now they have their route for their attack. Rey now gets to meet her granddad for the first time, and I think he offers her a quarter or something if she'll sit in his chair.
Why don't you come over here and sit on my lap?
Meanwhile, stupid Resistance shows up and decides the best way to infiltrate a command ship is to land space buffaloes on the hull and mount an attack. I may not know the full capabilities of these ships in great detail, but I'm willing to bet my Kia that they have things like pitch and roll.
Hard to start with help. Hard to start.
Yeah, it's literally that easy. But the Resistance fleet is no match for the 10 million Final Order ships, and just when you think all hope is lost,
On your left.
Lando shows up with 20 million personally owned ships? The Final Order doesn't even know what they're facing. General Pride doesn't even know what to call these ships. The more I think about it, I want to make sure I understand what the hell's going on. The Final Order has 1,000 Star Destroyers with planet-killing weapons each. How do you fight that impressive fleet of warships? You bring individually owned ships to the fight? I'm sorry, but that's like going to war against a carrier strike group with a bunch of cruise ships. It's literally what this scene is portraying. Oh shit, there's an Ollie Burke-class destroyer heading my way. Well, f*** you, warship. Here comes the Carnival Mardi Gras. You think you are cool with your axial super laser? Well, f*** you. I have the norovirus. You have a legion of 8,000 stormtroopers per ship. I've got 6,500 overweight retirees with bad backs and irritable bowel syndrome. Take that, Final Order! I know I'm speaking satirically, but this is literally what happens in the movie. So the cruise ships show up and start taking out the Star Destroyers. How do they do this? You just have to start shooting them in their penis lasers. Hey, I've been kicked in the balls, and it definitely renders me pretty useless, but it just seems like this major weakness for the Final Order could have been prevented. Also, did the designers of the Star Destroyers with the little red penis laser underneath, was that intentional? It looks like my dog when he gets an erection. Now, Palpatine notices ships getting their space sticks kicked in and does the whole sparkles thing to bring down the Royal Caribbean until Rey gets back up and does her new Twitter logo, and Palpatine melts like a guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Next, Rey dies. Kylo Ren lives. Then Rey lives. Kylo Ren dies. This is really dumb. Why didn't Rey res Kylo Ren after he rezzed her? Not enough life force or what? That would actually been funny as hell. They just keep rezzing each other back and forth until they both die. That would have made it all worth it just for that scene. So that's it. That's the movie. Just punch the Final Orders and their space sticks and they die. I guess they didn't learn from the Empire's mistakes. The original Death Star had a weakness where you had to shoot a torpedo through a small exhaust vent. The Final Order was like, hold my beer. This f***ing movie is just terrible. The one bright spot at the end occurs when Lando is talking to Jannah.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, I bet you're going to help her find out. Good to see Lando still got it. Hey, thank you for watching. We hope you understand this is just satire, and we have a good time doing it. If what you saw here made you happy, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you didn't like what you saw here, please hit the like and subscribe button, because it'd make me happy. Thanks for watching. Mahalo.